Theo Maledon, the
Hmm.
guard out of France.
The best thing about Theo is his size. He's 6'5", so like he's a
Hmm.
big point guard. And then he shot what 36% on threes, 79% on free throws. So he's a good shooter with size. And that means he can slide into that shooting guard position if there's a small point guard playing with him. But he could also do that point guard position well too. The cons for him is he only played 17 minutes per game. So we don't even like have a lot to judge him off of. So like we don't know what he could be like everything like those 3-point percentages that I just listed and that free throw percentage I listed
Yeah.
can be a complete myth and he could be a horrible shooter.
Hmm.
And yeah, like he could not be an NBA player. And another thing that in his limited minutes that kind of got exposed was his lack of strength and explosiveness. Like he wasn't able to switch
Yeah.
on to small forwards, even though he was
174
6'5".
pounds at 6'5".
Yeah, he was getting dominated on switches with small forwards. So it's gonna be tough for him. He's just a young guy that they're gonna. It's a project player. Like,
Hmm.
don't
Yeah.
expect him to see him in the first year as
Yeah.
a rookie.
Yeah. So, like you said, 6'5". There are a lot of big point guards in this draft, and he's one of them. 6'5"
Hmm.
with length.
Yeah.
Like you said, we have seen him comfortable shooting off the dribble and off the catch. Granted, it's on low minutes and low volume.
Hmm.
And he has shown a high offensive IQ, scoring and passing, really good footwork, body control, all that stuff. Really creative finisher. He has a lot of defensive promise because he's so long. And even though he didn't play that much, he still has experience similar to a lot of European players playing with older guys, which has kind of become a good thing in the draft, whereas people shied away from European players before. That's kind of becoming a good thing. Uh, and like you said, he's limited explosiveness, kind of struggles to create space. And even though he has potential defensively, he has not really shown the fundamentals and IQ. Like you said, he's a project. And I think taking him in the early 20s in a draft like this, I think that's a really solid pick.
Yeah, but he also has the lowest floor out of I think any player we talked of right
Mm,
now, because he could struggle in the G League. Like that's how little we know about him. Like I think
that's
all
fair.
the players we named before, they'll at least be like G League starters.
That's fair.
So it's gonna be tough for him. My comparison to him is Patrick McCaw because they're both around
That's
like
good. I
that's
kind of like that. I think
yeah,
McCaw's a little faster, a little quicker, more explosive, but like actually
yeah,
that's kind of decent.
yeah. They got the size and they can do a little bit of everything, but they're not really great at one thing. So that's why I thought that was a good comparison.
I, I think like McCaw, like obviously, like we already said, we're Raptor fans, and we've
Yeah,
we've seen how bad of a scorer Patrick McCaw is. Like I don't even
yeah,
know if he's a good playmaker because he just never does anything with the ball. He never
yeah.
tries to score. I think Theo is a little bit better at that than him. My comps were a less quick Frank Ntilikina, the
Oh, that
length,
makes sense. Yeah,
the length and the good playmaking and stuff like that, and
yeah.
kind of how skinny he is. Also, people are saying poor man's Shea Gilgis. I
Oof.
think that's basically Nikhil Alexander Walker is the natural poor man's Shea,
Yeah,
and I think the mid range ability, the craftiness, the lack of muscle and size, the I already said length, and the speed and stuff like that. I think that's kind of a decent comp. Can
yeah.
play off the ball or on the ball.
The thing with Theo is we just don't know where he could be. Like he can be as good as Shea, which is like a pretty good selection for
Yeah,
late 20s. But then he can be not even a G League player.
yeah.
So
Nikhil.
he's gonna be tough.
Thanks for watching. Listen to the Stretch the Floor podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram.